to Mr. 96's Pop Reviews. My name is Mr. 96. In my 5 years of making YouTube videos, one idea that I'm still proud of is dedicating the month of November to all the times I f***ed up in the last year. Usually in these videos, I include a bunch of times I made some typos or factual errors, but this year, I was surprisingly clean in that regard. While the biggest reason for this clean year is likely luck, there is also an even bigger reason as to why that occurred. But before we get to that, let's go over the actual mistakes I made over this past year, and they're pretty much dedicated to one video. My entire top 10 best hit songs of 2019 list. Back in December, this video took me literally the entire month to make, and the biggest reason for the lengthy time was because I really didn't know what to put on the list. By the end, I was basically guessing and hoping that my top 10 would hold up decently well, but no. The few songs I misplaced are ones I shamefully regret. For example, I put Sweet But Psycho at number 10. God, what was I thinking? That's soured on me ever since. On another note, I like this next artist decently enough, but I should not have put Suge by DaBaby on the list as well. It's alright, but it's far from a best list contender. I guess I just want to give credit to a rap hit that wasn't outright lazy, but I shouldn't glorify songs just for getting a passing grade. As for the songs I left off but should have been on there, Old Town Road is my biggest regret. I guess the overplay at the time sort of made me hesitant, but looking back, that song was way better than a huge chunk of my list. For the top of my list, I really set myself up for failure when I declared earlier in 2019 that I was not going to put Boy With Love at number 1. And you know what? It's not like I don't see why. I mentioned how the album version of the song was the one that charted in America, and I still stand by saying that the album version is a straight downgrade from the music video version. But with that being said, I'd put it at number 1 today, not because the album version has gotten any better, but because the song I did put at number 1 has gotten worse. At the time, Uproar by Lil Wayne was a breath of fresh air since I hadn't heard a decent Lil Wayne song in 8 years, but now that time's worn off, the shine is gone, and it's just a fine song I wouldn't seek out on my own. Now, some may think it's Lil Wayne's political move that made me distance from the song, but I was already moving on from Uproar well before that over the past year. Though that didn't help.
Listening to Bono, you listen to Dono.
Yeah, like that line isn't gonna age poorly. Of all the hip-hop tracks I put on my best list, the only one that's held up fantastically is A Lot by 21 Savage featuring J. Cole. And for good reason. It's a brilliant and insightful track that's still relevant today in the goddamn disaster that is our socio-political climate. As for my worst list from last year, I'm pretty happy with the order of songs I chose. My only changes would be that I forgot a couple of songs in my dishonorable mentions. One is Baby by Lil Baby and DaBaby, a correction I already made when I did my best list, and the other is Knockin' Boots by Luke Bryan, which I don't know how I missed that, as I should have guessed that a Luke Bryan song would be f***ing garbage. Now that I've gotten all that shit out of the way, it's time we talk about the real reason why I didn't make as many errors as I normally would. Well, one can argue that I've just gotten better at making videos. Being spotless is still a matter of luck since I make these videos alone without another editor. But the main reason I didn't make many errors was because there weren't many opportunities to make errors, as I didn't make many videos this year. I can try to come up with excuses here and there, as this was a turbulent year for everyone, but at the end of the day, I was just exhausted talking about music in 2020. And it's not as if the year was full of bad music, it's easily an upgrade over 2019, but this was the first year in which music honestly felt secondary to everything else going on. Plus, making my worst of 2000 list took 4 months to make, and my best of 2000 list was supposed to come out in October. Sadly, that won't be coming anytime soon because I just ran out of ideas. When I started 2000s Childhood Pop, I originally planned to do a best and worst for every year the 2000s decade, but after 4 years of doing these lists, I'm honestly getting burnt out. I had planned for years to do a best and worst of 2000 in 2020 due to the significance of the 2-decade gap, but am I excited to just go chronologically to 2001 next year and 2002 the year after? Honestly, no. So I'll probably finish my best of 2000 video sometime in early 2021, but after that, I just want to get back to talking about 2000 songs from my childhood rather than spend months on another top 10 list. With all that being said, I want to get back to my routine of reviewing pop songs for fun, but if I'm going to continue grinding through these times, it's going to take some work. As a college graduate searching for a full-time job, making videos every 2 weeks is not something I can fully dedicate myself to like I used to. Which is why I'm finally announcing something that's been in the works for a while now. I'm starting a Patreon account. YouTube copyright has made it impossible to earn a cent off of any new videos I make, but through your help, this channel can reach heights that weren't possible before. For example, one of the toughest parts about recording is that I make these videos alone with a blanket and shitty tape in the background to filter out noise. However, many of my takes get ruined due to it constantly falling down, thus forcing me to reset everything over and over. But if every one of you donated just $1 per video, I could reasonably afford equipment to enhance the recording process. For those who simply want to support the channel out of generosity, you can pledge $1 per video as an awesome individual. I understand that not everyone has the funds to donate on a regular basis, so do not feel obligated to donate as this is all voluntary. Whether you chip in or not does not make you any more or less of a fan. By pledging $2 per video, you become a patron voter, where you get to vote on various polls such as suggesting low-charting Hot 100 songs for me to talk about at the end of every pop review, as well as suggesting my next episode of 2000s Childhood Pop. If every one of my 4,000 subscribers was able to donate $2 per video, I would be able to make YouTube my full-time job. At $5 per video, you not only become a patron voter, but also get to have your name visibly listed at the end of every video in the Names of Fame. And for those of you who donate $10 per video, you get a shout through the heart as I personally shout out your name at the end of every video. Due to my constantly shifting schedule, I am choosing to accept donations on a per video basis rather than a monthly basis, as I do not want anyone to feel as though I am stealing your money in case I take another break. If you would like to donate and help this channel grow to new heights, you can click on my Patreon link in the description below and contribute if you can. Anyways, thank you for sticking with me through all this time. And don't worry, my top 10 worst hit songs of 2020 are definitely coming this December. Pop songs may come in numbers, but there's only one. 96.
너의 그 말